Welcome to the Angry Birds Pod Show. I've never said that. What I said usually says, welcome birds and turds to the Angry Bird Pod Show. My name is Kyle. This podcast is starting off on a weird foot. My buddy Matt is in that direction. Say hi, Matt.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. And we're about to smack you with another whatever the heck this is. So we are back at our thank you. Excellent Foley work. We're back at our regularly scheduled recording-ish time. We've had a couple weeks of who knows what's going on in the world, but we're back, baby.
Not a lot.
No,
Not my world anyway.
rain, I think, is what's going on.
Yeah.
Sort of, not unfortunately, but I was talking with people at work the other day, and I was like, I don't know what age it is, but you get to a point where you're just like, we needed the rain. You just start talking like that.
I was going to say that. I'm like, we should enjoy it now because I hear it's supposed to be a hot, dry summer. So I kind of was going to go right down the same fucking road.
Well, I know you like lawns, so you're probably a big water guy.
I like my lawn. Although I like other people's lawns that are like so manicured, you can tell they put money into it. They probably have a nice Toro tractor. They fertilize, They keep it a certain thickness so it stays green and the weeds get choked out.
Yeah.
And then there's mine, which was my house was built at the bottom of a hill, and they scraped the hill and brought all the rocks and all that stuff in, and we have terribly weedy grass. But I try to make it as nice as possible without putting money to it, because you know me.
Yeah, Mr. Thrift.
Yeah.
I'm almost the opposite, where I don't care about my lawn. Not in like a way that it's unkempt or anything. Like I cut it and stuff. But we're adding more and more gardens, so there's less and less lawn.
Sure. Is that so you don't have to take care of it as much?
There's a lot of lawn.
Because the gardens are quite a bit of work themselves.
It's true.
Unless it's like a Monstera garden or something that has a lot of coverage. This is a garden podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we've switched it up. We're not going to talk about birds this time. We're talking about gardens.
Angry Garden Podcast.
Angry AGPS. Excuse
me. But yeah. So it may seem like it's probably less work, but it's equal work.
Yeah, I don't think it's the work. My wife enjoys the plants. So I'm enjoying kind of learning about different plants and stuff.
What do they call that? Botany? Botanists?
I believe that's botany. Yes.
Yeah.
Crushed it. That was a good one.
Well, it's better than urethral.
Urethral snow.
That's a big callback.
Do we have inside jokes
true
now?
Fans. Yeah.
The true.
It's been long enough now. Yeah.
It's true. The thing I'm really invested in the gardens now is last year, in the fall, I went to one of the branches that I work for, and they were giving away plants when you opened a specific type of account. And I went there to do something else, and they're like, "You should take a plant home with you." And I looked up. There was one oak tree, like a specific type of oak. I don't remember what. Something else, and this thing called a nanny berry. And I knew that my wife was looking for little bushy things, so I was like, "What do you think of these three things?" She's like, "Take one of the nanny berries," and I was like, "Okay." And it was just like a stick with two leaves on top. It was probably like this long, and it was just two little. It was the most Charlie Brown looking Christmas or tree that you've ever seen. And we had just made like a new garden, and we're like, "Oh, it'd be perfect in this corner." And we put it there. I'm like, "Yeah, you do well." And then we have, I think I mentioned it before, 1,000 squirrels, and they like to just fuck up all the gardens, and they'll just like root around and pull stuff up and chew everything. There's bunnies also, basically all the rodents. And something dug this tree up, little bush, and I was like, "God dang it!" And we put it back, and then like someone rocked it again, and then it put it back, and then winter happened, and just got demolished by snow and stuff. So this spring, it's been a stick with no leaves on it. Like it snapped off this original stick.
I was expecting this big beautiful.
It's just like
tree. Yeah. Still in Charlie Brown,
Yeah. So we were a couple weekends ago. We were doing maintenance on all the gardens, and Jen was pulling out all the weeds and stuff in that garden because it was a little overgrown at that point. And that stick is still there, but she like dug it up a little bit, and it still had like a decent ball of roots. Like it seemed fine. So we're like, let's leave it and maybe. And so every day, like I get home from work, dogs in the yard, and I just look at the gardens and look at what's coming up and look at the plants. And then I noticed the other day, like this tiny stub of a green thing beside the little stick. And I was like, oh, it's doing something.
Life.
Now there's like 6 leaves and it's about this tall. And I'm like, look at you go, buddy.
So this is a happy story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Jen wrapped it in like a chicken wire cylinder so that stuff can't get to it.
Stuff can't get to it, yeah.
Yeah, so we're like, you gotta survive now.
Do you find sunflowers all through your garden?
Not really.
Because we'll have the squirrels kind of like drop them or like drag them there or maybe hide them there, and then every year we'll have just random big sunflowers just in random places, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, growing up, my dad had a bird feeder, and it was in the corner of like the vegetable garden, and in that corner was like always 6 or 7 sunflowers just right underneath the bird feeder.
Yeah. A little tip, maybe people know this, but if you have like a dry patch or like an area that's not taken seed, just put your bird feeder in that spot and get like the mixed wild seed, bird seed. The grass comes up so nice there.
Really?
It's a slightly different type of grass, but yeah, it comes up nice and thick because it just keeps getting fertilized. The birds on the ground, the mourning doves are pooing on it and fertilizing it. The seeds are all dropping. It works pretty well.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, unless if you have rats. Then you don't.
I don't.
We have rats for some reason we have rats in the area. I've never seen one. The neighbors have. The neighbors beside me have. I stopped feeding birds for like a year or two to make sure we didn't get any. I have a bird feeder out there now, and I haven't seen them, but they'll destroy your foundation and everything else they can find.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I love rats, but like I totally understand that they're pests. And I have a weird.
I understand the pet. Yeah, I understand the pet rat thing. Like.
Well, yeah,
I can see how they could be cool.
I used to have snakes, so I also had rats because I had snakes, and that's sort of where I'll leave that. But before
my buddy had a monitor.
What kind of monitor?
And it's a good question.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you know any? Can you name a couple?
Yep. There's Savannah monitors. There's, I think Tegus are technically a kind of monitor. There's a bunch of like different kind of tree monitors.
Okay. That didn't help.
I think I was gonna say, what color is it? Brown, lizard color.
Yeah. It was brown. Yeah.
The most common ones that are monitors are Savannahs, I think, in pets, unless I'm entirely wrong. But
okay,
I could be.
Well, he used to put a cat harness on it and walk it around his front yard.
Yeah.
The odd time, he was pretty cool. And then the odd time, he would give it a live rat sometimes, and those were battles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We've talked about everything but birds right now. But I think now is a good transition time for our tradition on this podcast.
Do we have birds to talk about?
This tradition? I think so.
Birds.
But don't do that. It's June, so it's not really bird season.
Do you know that pigeons die after sex?
I didn't.
Well, the one I banged did. All right, sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
I was like,
right. There's a little dark humor. There's a couple of unsubscribes there.
I was like, I don't think that's true, but where is he going with this?
It's supposed to be more vulgar, but I just toned it down a little bit.
Yes.
You're really supposed to emphasize what you did.
Wow.
Anyway,
with a bang, literally.
What they say, you gotta show your character, right? So
yeah, what's true.
I'm usually pretty tame, to be honest.
On the pod, yeah.
Yeah.
We can definitely be a little bit more aggressive, but I try to. Well, yeah, we haven't really. We've talked about this, but we haven't really lived up to the Angry Bird name yet. We're kind of the lukewarm bird pod show at this point.
Yeah, I kind of see it as any kind of hobby. You slowly have to get better and better, and organically things just kind of fall into place.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, but you got to get that base. You don't want to like piss everybody off and have like 3 listeners just because you're a little too overzealous, a little too vulgar. You might I want a lot of people to be able to listen to this without like having to like go, oh, I got to listen to this when the kids are in bed, which is great. Those are my favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
But when you're really talking about like a niche thing like wildlife photography or bird photography, you want to at least put a little cap on it. I think Gary said that. He goes, you're a lot more tame and reserved on the pod. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to piss everybody off. Like,
It's true.
My type of personality sometimes is a little harder to. Not everybody accepts it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I could
you know?
definitely be that way. I was a little
Yeah.
sour at work today. I was supposed to get a headphone delivery at work and it didn't show up, so I was pissed off. It's freaking UPS liars.
Yep.
In fact, live on the pod, I'm going to refresh the tracking to make sure that it hasn't been delivered because that's how I roll. Nope, still the same as it was at 12:41 a.m. this morning.
Ooh, that's the worst. All day just looking at it.
Dinguses. Yeah, I know, right? Oh well.
Yeah.
I had a thought. You know how like some like celebrities and stuff won't wear the same clothes every time they're at like an event or whatever. Like they can't wear the same dress or tux or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of taboo when they do.
Yeah. Maybe I should have a different pair of headphones every time we record.
That's gonna get expensive.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea if you get like a sponsor.
Having a headphone sponsorship on a bird podcast would be kind of strange. I would be all for it. And I would have like Kyle's audio corner where Kyle just nerds out about audio things for a bit, but I don't know if that would be popular with. We're like fucking 12 minutes in and haven't even said the word bird yet, I don't think.
We have. I think I said fuck birds.
That's true. That was the one reference to birds.
We're working on big things, you know. I'm looking to try to get like a kayak deal so we can get, you know, some sponsor because I got a new kayak and I reached out to them and I'm like, you guys got to push your kayaks for wildlife photography. I know not everyone does it, but your kayaks are set up the best for them. And that's why I picked one up.
Yeah, your recent shots have got me thinking about it. Like I have a canoe that I never use. I don't know if
it's not the kayak and it's not the canoe. It's the Sigma.
You are in love with the Sigma 150 to 600 contemporary.
Are you in love with the Sigma 150 to 600 contemporary in my hands?
I never thought it was a bad lens. So it's definitely capable of taking great shots.
I think it is.
That it is a great lens?
That is capable of taking great shots.
Yeah.
Like the potential is there. You know?
I have some great shots. When I had one, like I said last week, it was on a DSLR. I did try it on my Sony A7R III for 6 minutes, and then I couldn't stand it. I don't know. I can't quantify if it was any better or worse at autofocusing when you adapted to the Canon mirrorless versus the Sony mirrorless, but at least they're both quirky in their own weird way.
Yeah, like at least comparing it native to adapted, there's a difference. We talked about this the last couple episodes. I don't want to bore people. My
this is the
main
Angry Bird Sigma podcast.
Yeah, my I wouldn't say my main concern, but my main question with using that lens is how is it going to react in the kayak when I'm taking photos of loons and stuff? Because like I said, you have a dark bird, a dark eye. You have the metallic waters. You sometimes have dark backgrounds. They blend into it. It definitely doesn't perform autofocus wise as good as native. Certainly not even the 800 f11 in low light. But when it does hit it, it just, I don't know, you get that extra 6.3 that you keep talking about. And it does definitely do something.
You think of me every time you're like, look at the fall off of this bokeh.
I do. 600 f3 just keeps like echoing through my head.
I don't even have that right now.
If I didn't have the lens, I wouldn't miss it. Let's just say that. It's nice to have that option in the morning to be a little more meticulous with my composition because I can't just run and gun with it. But it produces nice work. I got a sequence of a loon taking off twice when it was coming towards me. It went 12 feet past the kayak. Like, it flew right past me. And the Sigma was like 75% hit rate. Isn't that kind of insane?
It is. I had a thought about that. I don't think I sent it. I didn't share it with you because I was like, hey, hashtag content. Um, I'm wondering if most of the time when Dwayne and I think even Jans was talking about it, Jan, where
Jan.
they would use
Yawn.
stationary birds, or I know that Dwayne had like a little model on like a rotating thing.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if because it like does that like micro hunt thing, I'm moving especially like laterally or towards and away from you, it not might be a benefit, but kind of leans into the quirk.
You're right. I think you're right. I consider that myself. Like, it does seem to do worse on a static bird when it's not moving and it's doing. But when you have something certainly coming towards you, I don't know flying past, like across, if it's going to be as good. But this one was most of the time coming towards me at that angle.
Yeah.
It stuck pretty well. I'm not. If I had the same opportunity with like an 800F, like your lens. If I had the same opportunity with your lens, I think the hit rate would probably be about 95%, if not 100%.
Yeah.
So there still is a little bit of loss in frames, but it's not anything like I thought it would be. I thought this thing was going to be such a potato that it wasn't going to be usable out in the lake because there's just so many reflections. There's so many distractions for it, and I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. Can I rely on it? I think I can say I could.
Wow.
If that was the only lens I took out, I think that I could typically come back with something that I could use.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is good. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And like you've also mentioned, it just like it's helping you slow down and be more like deliberate with it too, which is cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I just need to like, without buying a Sigma, like do that.
They're still so expensive.
Yeah, like I think
Like in my opinion, like they're $1,000, but why are you still asking $1,000 for something? Why is that still the market value on something that everybody and their sister has one to sell? Do you know how many are on marketplace right now, just sitting there at $1,000 or $950? People better start picking them up for $500 and like recorrect this, because that's about all they're really worth. Is probably $600. I don't know how people are asking $1,000. I don't get it.
I think people know the old. It's not an old adage. It's not an old concept, but they're like, lenses hold their value, so they're thinking that. But
and popular lenses. It's the most popular entry level bird.
Well, you would think that would bring the price
Soon.
down because there's so many.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody looking for one. That's the first thing that most people that don't really know about the RF 100 400 when it comes to on a crop sensor, when a lot of people haven't experienced that lens, it's that Sigma 150 600 that they're gonna recommend.
I love the little caveat you put in there. You're like the 100 to 400 on a crop sensor, and then you like continue talking.
I just like that 600 millimeter range. That's just my own preference, and that's kind of why I preface it so much. Other people may love the 100 400 range. I know a lot of people that do shoot the 100 400 range. They're normally medium to small in frame type shots. It's really hard to get 5 to 10 feet from a bird, a small songbird, say, regularly.
I wonder where you could get away with, you know where the 1 to 4 might be kind of sick on a full frame is like do I want to use the word setup? Let's go with tame hummingbirds.
Sure, you could do that.
Did you get right close to those, like feeding on a feeder or even like a bush? That might work, because usually I think with macro-y stuff they tend to step down to that F5 6 to F8 range. Like you don't see
and more.
Yeah,
You'll see them 14 16 sometimes.
Yeah, to get the depth of, or like the focus
If
stack.
they're not focus stacking. Yeah.
All right, new challenge: focus stack a hummingbird.
Oh shit.
I don't know if that's possible. The wings.
Can I use one that's not living?
No.
I think that's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you could focus stack a moving hummingbird, but that would be quite the. I kind of get it's not the same thing, but every time I see the picture of a swallow that's like crisp, I'm like, that person took a lot of pictures or lucked out once. I've
In what way? Like a posed one or a flight shot?
a flight shot,
Okay.
like a moving swallow. Because I've tried, like even in a situation where you're able to use a headwind to your advantage, where they're kind of slowing down into the headwind, they're still fast. Like they're still quick. They're still erratic. They're hard to track.
It's the erratic part for me. I can match their speed. I just don't know where they're going.
No, and I think that's their whole jam. That's why I've always said, like, I'd love to come back as a swallow if I die. Just, like, ripping around a field. Just honking bugs.
Living under a bridge if you're like a barn swallow.
Just a troll.
Yeah, pretty much.
Troll bird.
Yeah.
He's sick.
I have a bridge just like one concession over, and they come flying out and they rip around this river on the Beaver River Marsh and in the wetlands, and they're coming and going, and I still don't have shots.
Yeah. I've filled cards before attempting to get shots, and the best I could get that was sharp was like 7 pixels in the corner. And I was like, I can't crop into that. Like, I'm just not going to do that.
No. It looks good on like the back screen when you're like zooming in until you get home and you do want to crop it to the same distance and you've lost all resolution. I think it's just something that you have to focus on and become a professional in its own right.
Yeah.
Just with that specific thing.
Definitely
That's all you can focus on.
definitely a skill.
Yeah.
That's a skill.
Until you get it, and then
Move on to something
it's
else.
like riding a bike.
Then Swift's next.
Yeah.
I'm only good at getting close to woodpeckers. I think that's my forte.
I think it's because they don't care. Typically. They usually don't. They keep an eye on you. They'll poke around the tree and work their way around.
You know, actually,
Peekaboo.
most of them don't care, but flickers care.
Oh, that's true.
They're like, nope, peace.
I hear them laughing at you.
It's almost
400
as
meters away.
Yeah, it's almost as offensive as when a kingfisher is laughing at you from as it's taken off. You're like, you.
I have just as good of photos of both. I might have a slightly better photo of a flicker.
I definitely have better photos of a flicker because a couple years ago I found that nest. And I was able to camp the nest a little bit for like half an hour. Mom came back a couple times, fed the babies, and I left. But I'm still waiting for that tame kingfisher, or that kingfisher doesn't know that I exist somewhere and lands nearby. I think your laundry's done, by the way.
Oh, you hear that?
Just hear it a little bit.
That's hilarious.
It's just the
if anyone
LG
has
jingle.
Samsung.
Oh, it's a Samsung?
LG Samsung. Yeah. Everyone's checking their laundry right now.
Yeah, there's like, oh shit, my towels are done.
I meant to shut that door, and then I'm like, oh, he won't hear that.
It's fine. I think it's funny. I found sort of where that horrible segue into the woodpeckers came from is I found a very warm juvenile downy woodpecker in the parking lot at work yesterday. Yesterday? I don't know. Yesterday or 2 days ago. Doesn't matter because I'm not posting this today, so who gives a fuck? I looked out the window and there was a little black and white pile in the parking lot. And I was like, that looks like a woodpecker. And there's been a few bird strikes on our windows, and I've been trying to work with the maintenance facilities people to get some stickers put up on there or something, because they're just big old shiny, and they're tinted so the sun doesn't come in, so it's even worse. So it just looks like the forest.
Yep. And
so I went out there, and I don't know if it did hit the window, but it was laying on the asphalt, and it was probably like 33 at least in humid, because it was gross yesterday.
It was pretty bad. And
I picked him up, and he had his mouth open, but it was moved, like it was fine, like not fine, it was functional. So I wandered him over to the shade, and I kind of stood in the shade for a bit, and then tried to put him in a tree, and it bolted. It like just flew off into the wood. So I hope he found a spot to hang out for a bit. But I didn't think that the middle of the asphalt parking lot was that spot. So
no, that wasn't the spot. You definitely helped him. You aided.
I hope so.
We'll assume that he's doing good.
For a half second, I was like, maybe I should bring him inside where it's cooler. And I was like, if he escapes, like, I don't want a rogue, pissed off, stressed out woodpecker ripping around the office.
Or you have an office mascot for years.
That would be sick. But we just end up with holes everywhere, and it wouldn't. I don't think
You'd
maintenance
be
would
like,
like it.
oh, that's just Frankie.
That's
Goddamn
just
Frankie.
that's just Frank. Frank the woodpecker would be hilarious. I think. But that was really cool. Unfortunately, it was a cool thing to have seen that close up, but a potentially sad reason that I got to.
Sure.
I've also had that same side of the building. There was I think it was it was a thrush, and I don't know what kind. It could have been a Swainson's. It could have been a hermit. I'm really bad with the thrushes in terms of what they are and what they aren't. I got to check that thing out pretty close, and there was a cedar waxwing last year on a different window that I think definitely hit the window. He or she, I don't know. It flew into a tree as well, so they were all functional when they left. But when I found them, they were dazed or something. The waxwing was probably the coolest because I love a cedar waxwing. I'd never seen one that close. So I got to look at the little red danglers on like the back of his like wings, and just like because they look sometimes when you look at them like they're smooth, like they're not even feathers. But I got to see it up close, and they're such a cool like tan brown, like they're a really cool bird. I really like cedar waxwings a lot.
They're cool. And they're not. You can get some that are pretty cooperative. At times, certain times of the year, if you see them on a lower tree that has berries or something, they really don't care.
I find if you catch them in the wintertime feeding under like a bush that still has berries, like they'll stick to that bush. They want that.
Yeah, that's that food source.
Yeah.
I went to the ROM with the family on the weekend.
Nice.
That's the Royal Ontario Museum for anybody that doesn't know. I'm assuming most people would, but
I was there like a couple months ago.
They have drawers and drawers of birds. Yeah, it was cool to kind of just keep. And they had an ivory-billed woodpecker, and I took a photo of it, and I meant to send it to you, and I meant to add it to that group. And I was going to say I saw one because I took the photo, too, in a certain way because I had my 35 mil with me, just shots with the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I took it in a certain way that I was, like, going to try to fool you, and then I just forgot until now. Because they had
so
one there,
funny.
taxidermied one, or I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's real. I'm assuming it's real. It's a museum.
Yeah.
You would
Probably.
assume.
A specimen.
But yeah, it was really cool, the amount of birds. And then we did that nature in color exhibit. Was that there when you were there?
Yeah, but we didn't pay extra for it. We were like, we're too cheap.
We paid the extra. It was actually pretty fun. It was nice.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
actually
right
our favorite exhibit. So
Oh, shoot. I should have.
it was pretty good. It was fun.
We played a game when we were there where we stood in that like spot that has all the birds hung up. And Jen would look at the legend or whatever that was on that said what everything was, and she'd be like, where's the blah blah blah, and without looking at that thing I'd have to find it in the group. It was pretty fun. Nice. That's how I practice.
We should do that. We should do live
at the ROM. Live on ROM
with Kyle and Matt.
It was a great I don't know if you know what you probably don't. What's it called? I'm gonna bork the word too. No, that's a different. I'm think of an Asian food. I can't think of the name. It's like a pancake. It's like a cabbage pancake, which sounds gross, but it's really good.
It sounds terrible.
It's really good. I can't think of what it's called. I think it's called basically the equivalent of like whatever you want, because you can put like whatever you want on it. And there's a place that within walking distance of the ROM that we went for lunch.
Okay.
It was fantastic because we've had that, made it a couple times, and we've had it somewhere else, and that place has been there for like a long time, and I understood why. Like, it was fantastic, so I want to go back and have that again.
I suggested a few nice spots, and my kids said, "Oh, there's a McDonald's
right across the street."
Yeah, so we fucking went to the McDonald's.
Sick.
And then we went back on our way back out, and we got ice cream from there, so that was fun.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Was the dinosaur exhibit open when you were there?
Yes.
It was closed when we were there. Because they were doing renos on the front. That's sick. I like dinosaurs.
We spent a lot of time in the fossil area. There's some sick ass fossils out there.
That was open. That part, like the newer looking part, where it's all like yeah, that was sick.
Second level, yeah, it was sick. Like there was like some like pink camo looking granite and stuff and it would tell you where it was found, and we try to find the ones that were found in Ontario and stuff. And there's some pretty crazy ass rocks out there.
This is a rock podcast now. This is a geo
Maybe
podcast.
we're in the wrong like hobby. Maybe we should start being rockers. Or
It's
something, you know what I mean?
June. Like, what's going on with June? Like,
Loons. I'm going looning tomorrow.
true.
I'm going looning on my new canoe kayak, the best one in the game for wildlife photography. Soon to be sponsored.
is that the maiden voyage of that kayak?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
With a kayak, do you still have to smash a champagne bottle on it for good luck?
I'm gonna smash a Twisted Tea can over the side of it.
That's way better. That's way better. That's way more
I'm gonna
on brand.
shotgun it. Just. You know?
You should. That'd be a heck of a post.
I'm buying a lot of new stuff. I'm adding a new body to the kit.
You did mention that, and I gotta say it's very funny. Like it's a good camera.
I'm gonna give the audience a second to guess. I'm gonna pretend I hear their answers.
Should I play the Jeopardy song? Like doo boo 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 boo.
No, it's not that one. Guess 342.
Guess 342. No, Jacob. It's not Nikon.
It is a DSLR. Mm-hmm. I had a friend, Gary Fairman Photos on Instagram.
What happened to him?
We don't want to talk about it. So I have a friend.
Stole his
no,
camera.
we're good. We're good. We have a friend. He had an RP. He upgraded to an R7 while we were talking. He's like, I still have the 7D Mark One, and I'm like, I'm looking for another camera just to take photos of my gear when it's not. When I want to have my gear in my hand for some type of photos or like kind of self document, and a phone does okay, but so would a DSLR with a 51.8 or something.
Yep.
So that's the idea. It does do. I want to say it does 4K video,
4K?
doesn't it? The 7D.
I don't know.
I feel like it does like 4K 30 or something.
I had a Mark II, and I don't think I ever even knew how to take a video with it. So I wouldn't know.
They weren't really hybrid camera bodies at that time, really. Or like
No.
there wasn't really. The people that did video had specific cameras at that point.
Well, it was the 5D2, I think, that
I had that
started
one, yeah.
that trend of doing video.
But for some reason, I think it has 4K, but
It might.
it might be like a shit version of it. But anyway, I just thought maybe even a little bit of video, a little bit of B-roll or something. Leave it on shore when I'm paddling by. You know, just do some stuff, some marketing type stuff. But yeah, that's why he said, I'm going to give it to you dirt cheap. I don't use it. And I said, I'm going to buy it from you dirt cheap because that's what I do. And we're adding a 7D. Why not?
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, like I miss having a DSLR around just to not even to shoot with. Like I could take a broken one just to pick up every once in a while. I'd be like, yeah.
Just have a chonk behind you on a shelf.
Okay, how about this for chonk? All right. So I was talking to a friend of mine today. She's great.
Oh, by the way, how about this for chonk is
How about this for chonk? Yeah, that's a good,
the
good one.
episode title.
No, but like, get this. So I was talking to her. She hasn't shot birds in a while, and she posted a picture of an osprey carrying a fish. And I was like, look at you taking pictures of birds again. And she started messaging me, and she said that she picked up a 60 to 600 that she ended up borrowing it from a camera store nearby that she's friends with the owner, and then she liked it, so she kept it. And I was like, oh, what? I was like, what do you think of the weight? She's like, it's a heavy lens. And she said, blah, 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 with my D6. And I was like, wait, you put a D6 on the 60 to 600? That's a chungus.
Like a Nikon D6?
Yes.
Wow.
The like 1DX rectangular massive body.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
bruh. Like,
Yeah, there's like a D6 and a D5, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to think of what that camera, but I do remember that.
Yeah. But I
Wow,
was like,
yeah, that's chunky. And she picked it up
that's true.
physically?
She did. She can. She did say that
Good
she
for her.
shot the osprey with a monopod, which I was like, okay, now we're making more sense.
Monopod assistant makes sense.
Yeah. And she was practicing for shooting soccer, I think. Is she does a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sports photography. But I was like, man, like that's a beefcake of a setup. Like it's a good setup, but it's
Sure.
big. Like it's big.
Yeah.
And she showed me that she had like two straps into two different of the threaded things on the foot. She's like, I'm afraid one of them is gonna pull out. And I was like, Yeah.
Yeah, a backup is a great idea.
Yeah. But like, she likes the lens. Like, it's a great lens, but it's heavy, and that body is heavy. She did say that she was gonna swap it with one of her 850s, her Nikon D850s, which will bring the weight down a little bit, but still, it's a
The mirrorless version, it's only like a half pound lighter, right?
the Sony one. Yeah, it's not a ton lighter. It is lighter, but not a ton.
Do you think a half pound? Because like a half pound over a 6.5 pound lens, like you'd probably notice that a little bit. Like my old kayak that I got rid of was 80 pounds with the seat in it. The new one is 63 pounds, and the reason I went to it is so I could car top it easier because I got rid of the truck. You'd be surprised the difference that 15 to 18 pounds will make to lift over your head and put on a car. So I'm just wondering, maybe you will notice that half pound over a day of use.
You might, yeah.
Yeah.
What does this say?
Lighten yourself up.
I know. I'm looking at how much the Sigma weighs. I think I'm on. What am I on? Sigma Canada.
I think it's 6.5 pounds.
This says
it's gonna be grams or something stupid.
It's 24. It's 2.5 kilograms, and I think the other one was close to 3.
So it's 2.2.
It's 2
pounds in a kilogram.
Well, it's 88 ounces.
Oh, that helps me even more.
What a stupid measurement. Anyway,
isn't fluid ounces even more different?
I don't know.
This is the mathematics.
This is the
podcast.
I don't get all the
how many fluid ounces fit in it if you hollowed out?
How many cups are in an ounce of what? Gum.
I don't know.
I think it depends on what you're measuring.
People are yelling at us right now.
Oh, probably. That's not unusual. This is the Angry Bird Pod Show where we just piss the audience off instead of just being mad at stuff.
Yeah, for 22 straight episodes. Except for the one with Richard.
That was great. He messaged me and we need to get him back.
We're having him on. Oh yeah,
we're definitely having him on.
I was waiting for soccer to be done, so we didn't have like crazy late nights. And this was the last night, and it rained out, so Richard will be back on.
Yeah,
I can tell by the episode views that it was a more popular one. So Richard's good shit.
I don't think this is racist, but I think that in England they would call it a stonker or something like that. Or I think it means it was a good one. Like
a stonker. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It
sounds like stinker.
No. I think it's a good thing, but I'm also not British, so I don't know.
You may have offended most of those people.
That's what we're trying to do, right? Didn't we agree that we're trying to offend our whole audience?
Yeah, I could do a way better job easily, but
you've already fucked a pigeon.
That's the episode title.
That was the thumbnail. You fucked a pigeon.
Shit.
Shoot. You know what got fucked?
That pigeon.
No, that piping plover.
Oh shit. Good segue.
I looked over at the notes and I was like, that could work.
We got notes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting.
I mean, no. This is all.
I reached out to Kyle and I said, "Do you have an issue?" You need a quick little minute to gather everyone. Do you have an issue with people creating their own obituary? Do you have an issue with people?
Yes.
Perfect. Case closed.
All right, we're done.
No, when a popular or celebrity type bird passes away, and then an individual or a photographer will use that opportunity to create a post to say their part and their thanks and kind of an obituary for the bird. If this bird is part of an organization or some sort of rehabilitation type of organization, I think that foundation doing it makes sense. But every single goddamn photographer doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Now, does it matter? No.
It
just grinds my gears a little bit personally, and I have a podcast, and you fucking probably don't. So I'm just telling you, I don't like it.
I don't want to say it.
Probably just woke my kids up.
The kids are like, what? Dad, are you okay? Yeah, I wasn't on Instagram much that day. Are you just meditating now? Are you zenning out?
Anyway,
I wasn't.
I thought it was funny to bring it up.
Yeah, I wasn't on Instagram much that day, so I didn't see it a ton. So I didn't even know what you were talking about at first, and then I kind of started scrolling around, and I did see what you meant. I think the reason, not unfortunately, but they're very cute, and when cute things die, it's very sad to a lot of people, and you're allowed to be emotional about that. If that little downy woodpecker would have died, I probably would have been sad too. Would I have made a post about it? No. And I even said to Jen on the way home.
No, you made a fucking podcast about it.
Made a podcast. That's way better. Way worse. I don't know. I was telling Jen, I was like, I think there's a pretty good percentage that it might have died anyway, just from its injuries or whatever. But then I was like, you know what? There's kind of a lot of downy woodpeckers out there. Like we could spare one. But in the case of the piping plover, there's very few.
Do you think the piping plovers like the photographers? This is now getting kind of...
Well, we've talked that shorebirds are very, like, tolerant for the most... They can be. Mm-hmm. And I haven't gone to the beach where they are or to, like, find one. There was some signs on the beach in San Francisco when I was there last year, and I was looking for them. I would have taken pictures of them, but I haven't gone to the ones that nest up here. I know that there are photographers and are people who regularly go there.
Sure.
And those people are probably upset when they learn about this.
But I'm gonna put myself into the mind of the piping plover. And I've been there, not to the specific one, but I've been there. Okay. If you are the type of person that goes daily, you're probably interrupting and bugging them. And now you're doing an obituary about them. And they probably didn't like you in the first place.
I would say it's a hot take, but I would say I probably kind of agree with it. Like,
so now you're doing an obituary and a tribute to something that you probably were just bugging the whole time, that it was just living life and trying to reproduce. Now, again, I don't really care about this. I just think it's kind of funny.
Remember how you were like, do you like
there's
people?
No real hate. Yeah. I just think it's funny that it's just that's the take the avenue we take when it's just kind of like, you're probably just bugging the shit out of it while you're there anyways, not intentionally, but just from its eyes. And now you're gonna be like, oh, I just miss you so much and see you in bird heaven. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. It doesn't. It's not for you to do.
Who's supposed to be the bird obituary?
Nobody. Take the fucking photo of the bird and leave it at a non-first name basis. The thing is, these have names too.
They did have names.
And if it's a zoo and a zookeeper loses a giraffe and the zoo loses it, I get it. And they might have a memorial for it, and there might be a statue because it kind of is a pet. That damn bird's not a pet to you, so there's no reason to have a tribute for it. It's not your pet.
Yep.
You're not getting likes and follows and clicks and engagement over something that's not your pet.
That's true.
Again, I really don't care about this. It's just something to talk about.
You sound like you care.
I have to. I'm a good actor.
Oh, good. That'll come in handy at some point. Yeah. The funny part is, to me, like, if I would have been there so for anyone who doesn't know, it wasn't human interference that iced this piping plover. It was a merlin.
Did it get flushed? Did it get flushed by somebody?
Oh, I don't know. That's an interesting point. I don't know. I didn't read any of the obituaries. Maybe someone noted it. Thumbnail.
I'm just asking the questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, we're just doing the hard reporting right now. Let's get to the facts. But like, if I would have been there and saw the merlin do a merlin thing and like take him out,
I see where you're going with this.
I'd have been like, that's freaking cool. Like, I love seeing that. And actually, this might be an interesting other one. So
would that be part of your would that be part of your caption though? Because you're there, you witnessed it, it's part of your experience at the day. I kind of see how that plays into your storytelling.
I'm trying to think if if I would have witnessed it, what would my post have been? Because I would have had to try to capture it too, and I'm a shitty photographer, so I probably wouldn't have. But
you're an outstanding photographer. I like your work.
Thank you. You don't have to lie though.
I love you.
I love you too. I might have been like rip poor piping plover, something like that.
Sure.
Or I might have said like, next time Merlin, maybe get a kill deer. Like, don't go for the one that we're trying to bring back here.
Yep.
But like that's unfortunately nature doing nature thing.
Right.
Do you know the photographer, videographer, sort of small YouTuber? I think his name is Sam Rhino, or it could be Reno.
I don't think so.
I used to watch his videos. He shoots mostly Sony. He's got
that's why.
Yeah. He's got a great like New York accent. Like it's
That's probably also
thick.
why.
It's sick. But I saw a post that I think went kind of, maybe you saw this. I don't know. It was a great blue heron had skewered a Sora.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was Sam's video.
Wild. Yeah, okay.
There was so many people like, poor Sora, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I was like, that's what happens on a daily basis in nature.
Daily.
Like, shit gets rocked all the time. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's sad, but at the same time,
Sora had a name.
It was Mr. Sora.
No, what if it did? Maybe that's where you're going with it. I'm gonna let you finish.
I wasn't going that direction, but like, I think people get attached to the cute, fuzzy stuff that maybe you don't see very often, which makes sense. Like, I get the attachment, but at the same time, like, it's nature. Like, nature does, like, I think we talked about nature's metal last week. Like, crazy stuff happens all the time, and we have to let it happen. Like, that the great blue heron, as far as I know, and the Merlin, as far as I know, there was no human involvement there. That's just something that went down, and that it would have went down regardless of outside factors.
There's also no other factors like in endangered status or anything like that either with those two.
They have no idea.
No, but I'm saying they don't really have it. But I'm saying with the piping plovers, there is at least that status of.
Well, Soras I think are pretty rare, so people are not pretty rare, but like
rarely
elusive,
seen,
maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah,
elusive. Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it," and like I think the caption said something like it was a young one, and it maybe mistaked that for something. But like, they've eaten rats before, great blue herons. They've eaten like frogs. They ain't anything. Anything that fits down their face. I've seen them try to wrestle down like carp that are way too big, and it's like, what are you even thinking with that?
If that was my photo, I would have tagged it on eBird as Sora. Rain and I do this stuff all the time. I have a sharp-shinned hawk that has a American tree sparrow in my front yard, and it's in its talons, and I tagged it as American tree sparrow.
One of my first winters for photographing, I found a Cooper's hawk in the woods that it was standing. I think it was on a mourning dove, but it was very apart at this point. I should do that. I should tag mourning dove. It's Cooper's hawk standing on it.
Yeah.
That's very funny. The osprey would be like sunfish, catfish.
As you can tell, I'm not much of a conservationalist myself. I just kind of enjoy taking photos, and if like something's not there to take photos anymore, I'll just probably find something else to take photos of. I like the idea of I like the idea of conservation. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like my platform. It's not my thing. Like there are conservational photographers out there that is their thing.
Absolutely.
And you can make money off that sort of. That is an avenue where you can kind of get with foundations and do that type of stuff. So I do see how people jump on board with that. I also see how people jump on board with it when there are no net positives for them too. Don't get me wrong. It's a good cause. I'm just not very conservational minded when it comes to it. I'm not going to go out and kill stuff, but I'm not going to make it like my number one goal to show support in conservational activities while I'm with my photos anyway.
Well, we haven't talked
so
about this.
I just kind of think it's just, I don't know.
what we haven't talked about is you have a camera on one hand and a shotgun on the other hand. You take a picture with one, just blast it away with the other one, so that no one else can take a picture of it.
I have considered going out with my buddies that duck hunt and actually like take photos of the ducks and that stuff. And I know they're getting killed after, but
that picture of the one guy like got the duck by the throat and he's got his phone.
Yeah. Oh, the grebe. I think it's a grebe. Isn't
It might be. Yeah.
In like a park. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of hunters are actually fairly well versed in like conservation type of
for sure.
like knowledge.
Well,
and theory.
you're taking away, so you need to understand the balance.
Right. Like I don't mind hunting. Like it would be insane of me as someone who eats meat to be like, I don't think hunting's a good idea. Like that, whatever. Like I don't think I can have a leg to stand on there. So like hunt whatever legally, like that we've decided is fine. Mm-hmm. Don't go blasting away like a piping plover. Just
that might change though with Dofo changing the endangered species thing.
Oh, Dofo. I was like Dofo.
Doug Ford.
Dougie. Yeah.
That's all I've been seeing. Well, not all, but I've seen some stuff in the group chat about it being posted.
Yeah, something
about how much of an asshole he is and Greenbelt, and I'm just like, Dofo's gonna Dofo, you know. I'm gonna live my life.
Oh. Grebes be grebing, Dofos be dofing.
I don't think I care enough about anything to be like
rah angry.
Yeah, for people that aren't watching, like, shaking my fist. I don't know. I just stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
Try not to get offended by too much. Unless I need to talk about something on the podcast.
Yeah. And then
I'll be as offended as Kyle needs me to be.
Yeah. The whole piping plover thing. It's like make your post, but like it's I
really don't care. I really don't care, Kyle. It's not that big of a deal. I really don't care. It's just when I scroll and I see like 7 posts and they're all jumping on, piggybacking on it, and I'm just like, was it a slow day? Like, yeah, you went and saw it a bunch of times. That's great. You might have this like connection, but like, I don't know.
I also I feel
why
similar.
Is that a post?
It's not the same feeling, but I feel the same about like, I think we've talked about this, but whatever. Celebrity birds. Or like birds that are like unique to a spot, and like every third post on a local Facebook group will be that thing, and be the same pictures almost because people are standing beside each other. Mm-hmm. Right now, there's I think 9 white pelicans in Brantford.
Yeah, in the Grand.
Yeah, and everyone just keeps posting them. And 3 people. I'm not joking or exaggerating. 3 people at work today were like, "Did you hear about the pelicans on the Grand?" I was like, in my head, I'm like, I knew about them before you. I guarantee you that.
The crazy thing is, it's just like the populace starts to
stop punching your table. By the way,
sorry, I'm bad. The populace starts to kind of get the word on it. Like I know of pelicans that come every year on Lake Simcoe in a certain area that I could go take photos of in my kayak, and you know what I mean? Like there's opportunity every year. It's just when they become celebrity status, everybody jumps on board. And it's kind of for that FOMO or that clout or that here's my rendition of it or here's my story about the piping plover or you know what I mean? It's kind of like this. I don't know.
Often though there isn't a rendition. It's just like you're also standing where the other person is standing. Occasionally you'll get someone that goes there or 2 other ones that are trying to do their own kind of look, which I appreciate in a way, but like. You've said it before, like do we need more of X photography or X thing? I feel like it's fine. I feel like I'm making people angry now, but like, if you're going to take a picture of something for your own enjoyment, that's fine. I think even on your own Instagram, I think it's fine. But when you post it in like a public forum where other people are also posting it, like on a tighter Facebook group, not to Instagram to the wide audience. I don't know. Does that make a difference, do you think?
It does make a difference because you're representing yourself versus yourself in a group. I don't know if that makes a difference in what you're saying. Maybe it doesn't. Because like you're individualist. You're kind of an individual type thing when you're on Instagram. It's kind of your what you're about. Whereas in a group, you're kind of like sharing the same interests as people, and it's just a little different in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you're kind of sharing like, this is my rendition of what we all saw. Whereas like on Instagram, all you're doing is promoting the thing that 20 other people are promoting, and it's just kind of like, cool, you're unoriginal bastard.
Yeah. No, I don't think
I think people get excited to see it.
That's fine. And I don't want to take that away from someone.
No, of course.
But I would like to nerf people posting their whole photo reel of the whole time they were there. Like, I'm going to post these 24 pictures of these 9 pelicans.
Well, that's interesting too. Oh, in a single post or
Yes.
individual post?
Single.
Well, interestingly enough, Instagram is pushing carousels right now.
Maybe that's why I have no views. And because I don't post ever.
So right now, carousels, if you use carousels, the first photo is what they'll show, and if people don't engage and scroll past it, a few more posts down, Instagram will re-slot your post in there and might use like the second frame or the third frame to see if it'll capture and grab people's attention. So it's giving you more time, screen time to get engagement. They're actually pushing carousels that way. So it's giving you like that second chance. I still don't do them. I don't really fucking care, but
What do you think? I'm asking you, even though I put forward the argument. What do you think would be I was gonna say acceptable. I don't know if that's the right word. What do you think you'd be okay with someone posting a carousel of? Like, 'cause like if it's just pelicans,
I think it should story tell. I think it should not just include the subject. It should include.
I thought of a good example.
It should include you in it. It should include maybe your gear. It should include, like me going out tomorrow, me unloading or setting up the kayak. It should include maybe a shot of the brand of the kayak with maybe like my kit on top. It should include what the scenery is. It should tell a full story. If you have 20 photos to do it in one post, it should tell you the whole story of the day. It shouldn't just be 20 of 300 photos you took of the day that are just random clicks.
Okay, it should be a merlin in a stoop, and then it should be a piping plover, and then a merlin and the piping plover in the same frame, and then the piping plover getting demolished. Something like that.
Too soon.
Rip, little guy. I don't even know your name.
But no, you're right. It should tell a story, in my opinion, and I'm terrible at it, and that's why you're not seeing carousels for me. I'm not a very good storyteller. Although someone like the posts or comments are like, I love how you captured the mood and the storytelling and the gracefulness. I'm like, I didn't see any of that. I just saw a nice frame and took a photo of it, I hope.
Loon wings, click.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I'm having a grumpy day and we're just all pissed off about nothing.
Good.
And we're talking about it.
Good.
I don't know. Not some weird form of therapy maybe or something. I don't know.
I like
Ultimately, my opinion is my own. Who gives a fuck what I think? So if you're mad,
I'm happy. I'm my happiest when I'm angry.
I think that's an oxymoron.
I'm a moron. But no, really, I'm
a moron.
I am a moron.
We're both.
We've talked about this. I really appreciate the level of like enjoyment and friendship of like shitting on someone or poking fun at them or focusing on a negative but in a playful way. Like it's hard to explain, but I kind of enjoy the kind of banter and the nitpicking and the fake frustration and anger and stuff like that. Like I really enjoy it.
Greg sent me a reel the other day. It was a comedian. I don't remember his name. I think he was Australian, but he was talking about how like he said it in a posh people versus like more middle class people. But I think you can just put it to anybody where like you'll be mean to people you like to their face, and then behind your back you're like, great guy, like he's excellent.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly how I am.
The people you're nice to face, you're like, yo, fuck that guy. Like he's actually a dick.
Yeah.
So like I kind of still subscribe to that. One of my favorite things that me and Craig have sent to each other a couple times. It's some two wrestlers. I don't know who they are, and the one guy's just giving the other guy the finger, and it says "me" to my coworker for no reason, who's actually a really nice guy.
It's because you can meet them on a level where you can be yourself.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just feel so comfortable, and like you are, like the podcast has been for the first 20 episodes. You're a little more reserved.
This is one where it opens up.
It'll slowly come out. You'll slowly start to see, the different character of the two of us. But like you just get, as you get more comfortable, you really, your real, personality comes out. And that's what I like about people, is how I can be my crusty, and that I'm not being serious. Like that's at least the nice thing. Like I like to take the crusty approach, even though I don't really care. I'm probably putting emphasis on it more and being more theatrical about it because I don't care that much and I don't have that much effort, invested in it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun that way.
Talking to a coworker, and he said that I've been in a better mood the last few months, and I've been like,
it's me.
I think it's just summer or like sunlight, but
it's me.
Oh, it's you. I see. Thank you for pulling me out. But I was like, I didn't think I was in a bad mood before. I was just being passionate about something, and it just kind of comes off sometimes as angry. But I'm just
you said the right word. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, I love cheesecake, and you just like kind of shout about it or whatever. You're not mad about it.
I love cheesecake.
Fucking cheesecake is the best. Like cheesecake.
I love cheesecake.
So good. I don't trust people who don't like cheesecake.
There's people that don't trust. Wait, there's people that don't like cheesecake?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm friends with a couple.
Not in my world.
Here's the benefit. If there's cheesecake, you can have their piece.
I don't even want them there.
Kick rocks. Get that shit out of here.
I don't want them there. If you don't like butter tarts.
Butter tarts. Wasn't there just a festival in like Elmira?
I was going to go. That was the day we went to the ROM. We were going to go to the Butter Tart Festival. And then our neighbor grew up in Midland. She goes,
oh, Midland.
It's good. She goes, it's good. I grew up there. He goes, but it gets so busy. Apparently 65,000 people go there, and it's only one day.
Wow.
I'm like, there's less people on the Queen and Bloor where the ROM is. So I'm going there. So we went south to the city to avoid people. Go figure.
It's weird.
And it was actually not that busy, but when we heard it was that much and parking can be crazy and stuff, we're like, kids are still a little young. I don't want to get there and then just leave and have to fight the people. And so we'll go. We're gonna go. But yeah, it's funny that that just passed.
You reminded me of a story. We were down at, I think it was Niagara on the Lake for Canada Day a few years ago, and we were sitting in an ice cream shop, just having a break, and there's like tons of people around, so we had to wait in line. We did that thing where you're like, oh, there's a booth over there. Go grab that. What do you want? I'll grab it, and you sit there. So there's people standing looking for seats and paying for the stuff. So there's an older couple paying for ice cream, and the husband has his cone. He's holding it, and he's got like his phone in his hand, his keys and stuff. He's looking for his wallet, and the caramel on the cone starts slowly dripping off the top of the cone and lands like squarely in the center of his cell phone, like the screen. And I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And then I see him pay for the stuff, grab his wallet, put it back in his pocket, grab the ice cream cone and take his phone and put it glass first, like onto his pocket and slide it into his pants. I saw this streak of caramel just go good. I was like, when he notices that, that's gonna suck. It's gonna be funny.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah, it could be anything. But brown smear in your pocket. Then do you taste it? What is that? But
I think you have to. When it's a when it's a mystery,
it could be good.
Like that.
Could be caramel. You don't know. That just reminded me. When you said festival, reminded me of that.
Oh, it's just caramel.
I don't want to
experience that again.
I have no segue for this, but I kind of want to talk to you about something.
Go ahead, shoot.
As you know, I'm an F1 fan. I'll bring this back to bird photography in a second, kind of. Trying to think of how specific I want to be here. So there's two drivers on the same team And there seems to be a unit of fans that have been a fan of this one driver for years now. And he's kind of always got this short end of the stick. He's not had the car. And anyway, teams been getting better. And now they have like the best car. Through that, they got this rookie in who sort of came in, was really good, but not slowly, actually fairly quickly improved. And now they're about the same ish. And I'm a fan of the rookie. When I started watching it, his name's Oscar Piastri. And when I started watching him, I focused, like when you have a favorite driver, you start focusing on them while they're in the races and stuff. And you start looking around at people around them. And I'm noticing mistakes that are happening with the other driver's name's Lando Norris. And I'll see reels and posts and stuff about him making these mistakes. And when I'm talking to some people, like even verbally, face to face, these people are making excuses. These people who I know are fans of Lando Norris are making excuses for Lando's mistakes and trying to like downplay the strengths of his teammate, Oscar Piastri. When I like both of them. And when I'm watching them, they'll be like, yeah, well, Oscar Piastri's tire management isn't that great. I'll be like, yeah, he's working on it. Like it wasn't great last year. It's improved this year. It's still not the best. But they won't seem to criticize Lando at all. They'll defend him to the hills. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you don't have to like every single quality of something or somebody. You're allowed. I think it's actually better if you can love something or really like something and criticize it.
100%.
So like, I think bringing it back to cameras and stuff, the people who are like, this is the best lens, like there's nothing wrong with this lens. I want to see someone say like, yeah, this lens is great, and you tell me like, I don't think for me that this went well. It didn't do this. So I find I have more respect for people who be, I love this thing, but here's its flaws. Like here's its flaws. And I feel like as a society, we're losing that. I want to kind of get your opinion about if I'm crazy or not.
Are you crazy about that? I don't know. I don't think I experience a ton of that.
No?
Or at least I haven't recognized. Or I don't. It has not been my observation that people will refrain from being negative about something that they like.
I don't even want to say it's negative. Just critically thinking about it. Because you can,
critical thinking is not very popular.
Why? It's like you can say
because
I love this
AI,
band.
We have assisted, so we don't have to think critically anymore.
You don't have
I don't know if that's all of
should.
it. I don't know if that's all of it. I'm just saying that's a portion of it. As things are getting easier and easier and easier. This is getting a little off base, but when you're talking about people specific, I think there's a bit of laziness in it because you don't need to know everything and everything's at the palm of your hand. You know what I mean? Like, again, a little bit more of a tangent to what you're saying. I don't think there's a lot of critical thinking out there though either. And also I think, and this might have something to do with it, I think there's a lot of verbal diarrhea out there too.
That's true. A lot of crap.
What you hear is what you repeat, and you can't defend something you actually aren't well versed in. All you're doing is repeating what you've heard. So you're not really fully in depth and understanding what the situation is. You're just a fan and you're trying to fit in. Fitting in is huge. Think of Instagram and all these people that are influencers and have these perfect lives and try to keep it that way. And then people are looking at it and going, my life is depressing, and stuff like that. So it's all about kind of just wanting to fit in. And I'm just wondering if that's a little bit of it they're guilty of, is just not really fully understanding and only really knowing what they've seen or read and just repeating it. Guilty. I mean, I've done it too. I've done it for 22 episodes.
And we'll continue doing it for 22 at least more.
But at least I put my own opinion to the topic. I don't know if a lot of people do that because of the lack of critical thinking. There is not a lot of critical thinking. Like, I see people every day and I go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
No, I shake my head all the time to what people do, and I don't know if it's just me being looking for it, because there's that aspect too,
Could be.
or most of it's at work though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. So that's just like you're there to do a job. Critical thinking should be involved. A lot of the times it's not.
It ain't.
They let people do that for them. Sorry.
Yeah. You did say something interesting about like fitting in and stuff, which I kind of, I can see. But I think that maybe where at least my frustration is coming from is I hobby hard. So like I get into something and I'm like, I need 19 of whatever this is. I need to look at them all. I need to compare them all. I need to like think about all of them all the time. I need more. I need to sell this one because I hate it. I need to buy this other one. There's a new thing. That's sort of the new rage. Let's try that. I'm looking at headphones. I'm looking at squiggly graphs to tell me how they're going to sound before I even buy headphones. So like I go into everything hard. I go deep.
You said it earlier though, and the word is passion.
Right.
You're passionate about what you like and what you're interested in, and a lot of the times with passion becomes emotion.
Passion, I think, is an emotion, maybe.
Well, sure, but just being an emotional individual, and
What are you talking about?
not just in that way. There's so many, like Inside Out. There's so many different emotions
Great movie
out there. It is. I know. It was we talked about this previously, so I figured I would call back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see it as just passion. I get heated and worked up about things, even at work, because I am passionate about what I do, as gay as that sounds. And I use gay as in the loser, Sorry, guys.
Now we're really losing people.
No. Have you listened to podcasts now? Like, all the words are back.
I did notice that.
All the words are back.
All the words are coming back.
I think I can throw a little GAY out there,
I think so. Like I said it in a way at work the other day. That was almost.
I'm a 90s kid. You're a 90s kid.
Oh yeah. I said it almost in a positive way, like going back to even further when it was like meant like happy and like that kind of stuff. And I had a couple of looks and I was like, that wasn't even a negative way I said it. Like, I don't think we should, I think.
Did you freeze?
No. Good callback. I'm trying to analyze if the words that I'm thinking should come out of my mouth.
Do it.
There are words that certain people shouldn't say.
Okay.
I can think of a couple. I don't know. I don't think gay is one of them.
Right.
It depends on context. But also, like, it's like Russell Peters has a joke talking about how his black friend was going to meet him at a club. And the white bouncer was like, oh, your friend's here to see you. He's like, oh, he's a black guy? He's like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, what does he look like? He's like, tall, curly hair. His name's Leroy. He's like, but he's like, they're so afraid to say black. And I was like, I don't know. I think you can say it in some ways that isn't offensive. And I think that you can say that with most of the words. Mm-hmm. But I think some people
do.
I say it, or I think I say it?
No. You think that it's possible. There's some people out there that do not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that there are people who are like, you can't use that word at all. And I'm like, I think there's context that needs to be. And like,
yes,
this is way off topic. This is borderline.
That goes back to passion.
Yeah.
They're passionate about making sure that nobody's offended or anything like that. Like, they're just a different type of person.
Noble cause. I'll give him that.
Noble. Sure. Absolutely. I don't care who I offend.
I offend everyone equally. We're so far off bird podcast right now. It's crazy. But I guess coming back to the critical thinking thing, like I think we're missing things. I think we've talked about this before. We're like, this is a good photo, but maybe try this next time. Or I don't think this should have been in the photo. Or and then like, what do you mean? And they just get upset. And you're like, I just said first, I like the photo, but then this could be an improvement. It's like getting an 80 on a test. You did great, but you got these 10 things wrong. Mm-hmm. What do you mean those are wrong? You're like, no, don't be offended. Like, you did well. Just you could do better.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
There's something in there that's not clicking, and that's what you should focus on next time. Yeah.
And that's how I try to look at my stuff. And I think that's why I think I'm not saying I'm an artist. I'm not. I'm the farthest thing from an artist. But I think when you talk to any artist, someone will be like, this is the best painting ever. And they'll be like, oh, I've mixed these two colors here wrong, or this is incorrect. I didn't mean to do this. And I think you need to think like that if you want to progress and you want to get better and you want to improve at something.
I think you need people around you you said, and to be willing to have people around you to tell you that, because you're never going to be truthful to yourself.
No.
So you need to be more open to people being of that nature, if that's what you're looking for and asking. If you're looking for criticism, constructive criticism, you're going to have to understand that they're both mainly going to focus on negatives that they see, because these people also the same individual that gets offended by Kyle saying something about their photo that they could work on is the same person that can recognize in somebody else's photo something they don't like. And they have to understand that it's harder to be critical of your own photos because you're invested a little differently emotionally with the what's that called, with like the encounter yourself, you know what I mean? You were there, you have a lot more built into this, the effort and put in. Nobody else sees that type of stuff. I think we spoke about that too. You have to be open-minded to understand that these people are going to see flaws far quicker because you've found the best one, you think that's the one, and it's just like, yeah, there's still portions of it that can be fixed or worked on.
And I think even the stuff that you think is your favorite or the best of your carousel or whatever, your group of pictures, you might be the only one that thinks that. And everyone else on Earth thinks that one of the other ones that you might even have culled would have been their favorite, which is sort of a really weird part of photography.
And only you need to like your photos. But if you are looking for that constructive criticism, you can't be offended later when someone finds something.
No.
If you're giving unsolicited advice, I can see where someone might take offense.
I've never done that. I do that too much. I used to do that more, I think.
I was going to say something ASMR, but I had to get off Facebook group. Because of that, because that Dunning-Kruger effect, you can see people at that top of the hill and you're already down the hill and you're already kind of now starting your ascend, your nice slow ascend. You've been through all that. I'm the best photographer. Your aunts told you should be on that Geo. Like, you've been through that.
Yeah.
It's great. It makes you feel great. But you see these people on that hill and they're still going up and you're just like, you want to say your piece, but it's just going to turn into an argument. And I think that hill on the Dunning-Kruger thing is very populated.
As many
there's
people
a lot of people that are going to come to that person's defense, and you're just going to look like you're wrong, even though you're probably not, as somebody that's kind of gone through that already.
They're all the
they're
people
just
at the
not willing
Butter
to
Tart
accept it. They're all the people. 65,000 of them.
65,000 at the Butter Tart.
Sponsored by Chapman's Ice Cream.
Do you think that everybody who owns a Sigma 150 to 600 ant has told them that they should be in National Geographic?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I feel like that's the point, because it's like most people's first wildlife lens, where they get that like nice picture of like any bird, like could be a mourning dove, and they're like, wow, and your aunt just like loses her mind. And they're like, you should be in National Geographic, and then you go, yeah, I should, and then you're like,
you can still take a really nice photo of a mourning dove.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's almost more impressive when people get spectacular shots of common birds.
We should normalize that.
I keep thinking I want to, then when I'm out, I go, song sparrow, and I just like keep walking. Like I really should.
It's tough. Like I think if you could go out every single day and you could go, well, today is song sparrows.
Yeah.
Would that get boring? We talked about kind of like if you had that much time, would you do less? More than likely, it would kind of fall off. I like being excited about going out to take photos because of the amount that I do get to do it, which is pretty low. And then that song sparrow isn't enough for me that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now, like I'm thinking I'm going to go, I should commit. I'm going out Saturday morning. And I'm hoping for some grebes. Hoping for some turns.
Grebes be grieving.
Grebes be grieving. Hopefully grebe babies be
Turns,
grebe baby.
turns be turning.
Turns be turning. If I get like a dope shot of a turn, I'm definitely labeling it that. But maybe I'll try to not shy away from, maybe as like a goal or practice myself. Like I'll try to, like, I'll find a robin and I'll like try to crush a shot of a robin or something.
Find a robin in a beautiful location. It's not so much the subject is what I'm trying to figure out. It's more find a location and then find any subject in that location. And that's what will make a nice photo. Yeah, but I always think subject first, but then I'll walk past a beautiful location and there may not be any subjects at that specific time. But if I just sat for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, there's going to be something pop through, and then you could probably, pop something off.
Yeah.
Is my thinking, is my idea here.
I think I do need to think that way. Or
it's time crunch though for us.
That's the thing. Like, cause
for a lot of people.
Yeah, when you're going out, you're like, you want to come back with bangers. Like you want to be like, good bird. Let's just sit with this bird for a while. And I think that's why ducks are kind of nice sometimes, because they're large and they kind of just fart around in the same spot for a bit.
This is why I think my background in doing 6 years of wedding photography as a second shooter and reacting fast to what's going on, going through the motions and just reacting to what's happening in front of you, has allowed me to run and gun and come back with things a little bit better because of that fast-paced action. So I'm kind of used to doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I should be a little more methodical, but that's probably why I would say at times, in my own opinion, I come home and felt like I have been successful. Mm-hmm. Whereas, because when I go to Algonquin, I'll feel like overwhelmed. It's so big. There's so much to see. What trail should I go on? What should I do? What's here? What's there? You're doing more driving than anything, rather than focusing on something. And I still feel like I do come home with things most of the time, except for that one time I went with Teddy and Mark and those guys. We didn't see shit.
Not even shit?
So, I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't even think I took one that weekend. Sometimes it takes impressive. A day or two to get my body going, when
has to brew for a bit.
Yeah, when I'm not home.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah, it takes like a day or two. Especially like I'm on interior camping. There's like a thunderbox. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to using it. And then like, oh, look, 3 days have gone by. Oh, well, I'm back to a flush toilet. I might as well just...
I want to try the thunderbox out immediately, see what the thing's all about. Let's go in there and sit on it for a few minutes.
Yeah, Mike's like that. Yeah. Oh, he'll be using it because, IBS and everything.
I don't know what lake it's on, but many years ago I went to Algonquin with my brother-in-law for his bachelor party. I think it was 5 or 6 of us. And we walked for a while, stopped at this lakeside campsite that we were staying at, and someone was like, where's the thunderbox? And we're like, oh, it's over down that trail. So the way it was kind of a campsite over here, and there was like a little bay, and then like that's the direction the trail went for the thunderbox. So we're out setting up our campsite. We look across the bay, and you could just see like the top half of the person on the thunderbox, but they were just facing the campsite. They're just like, hi. You're just doing your stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
If you look forward, it was a very beautiful shot of a lake. Mm-hmm. But if you looked a little to the side, it was just your friends cooking breakfast.
Mike and I paddled we didn't paddle. We took the Opiongo taxi, like most of Opiongo. Oh, yeah. And then we did a couple portages back into like Crow Lake or something. We stayed at the Crow Lake Ranger cabin, and the Thunderbox was right on a hill, and you had this gorgeous lake out in front of you, and the cabin was just set just below you. It was the most picturesque poop ever. No, I'm not joking. It was the greatest location for a Thunderbox I've found in the park myself.
That's awesome.
Absolutely gorgeous. There are definitely rooms with a view in Algonquin.
Absolutely.
Poo rooms, that is.
Prooms.
Prooms. The prooms in Algonquin are gorgeous.
The prooms in Algonquin.
Yeah.
taken some good poops in Algonquin. I'm thinking about them now. Like, just like, because
Where have we gone?
off the rails. It's been great. But yeah, like, when the mosquitoes are not that bad, they're like the best ones because you're just like enjoying being outside.
Mike and I went the first week after ice out. So it was like May 4th, May 5th. There was a little bit of snow on one of the portages, Opeongo to Proul Lake. Not Poo Lake. Proul. Proulx.
Oh, Prue.
Proul? Yeah, Prue. Prue does sound right. So Poo with an R, Prue Lake. There was a little bit of snow. Anyway, 0 bugs. The best time to go.
Yeah.
The first week, second week of May is the best time to go. So now that I've told everyone, that's going to be booked.
Now 65 million people are going to go there.
That's how many people listen?
That's how many people are at Midlands Butter Tart Festival.
Butter Tart Festival, sponsored by Chapman's Ice Cream.
Sponsored by Prue.
Apparently, they were demonstrating or giving out samples of their new butter tart ice cream.
Sounds tasty.
Had raisins in it, I think. I'm like, what the fuck is
raisins? All right. Okay,
Let's go.
you just answered my question. I was going to be like,
go.
butter tarts with raisins or without, because I don't like raisins.
Nuts. Walnuts, chestnuts, pecans.
Okay, fucking, what's his name?
Bubba
Gump. Yeah. Butter shrimp, fried shrimp.
If you have nuts on the wall, what do you have?
Walnuts.
If you have nuts on your chest, what do you have?
Chestnuts.
If you have nuts on your chin, what do you have? My dick in your mouth. Anyway.
I was trying to figure out what the joke was, and then I was like, "Oh, there it is. That's it. I found it." You're on a roll.
We're gonna see a boo.
Yeah, I don't know how we get negative views, but this one's gonna figure it out.
Awesome. How do we rebound from that?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a segue, but okay. Here, you want to know why I don't like raisins? This is a fun story.
One sec. Do you hate them all together? I like raisins in Raisin Bran. There's something about Raisin Bran.
I'll eat,
but keep them out of my
tarts.
tarts. Okay. Continue.
I had a bad experience. I think I was young. I was very young. At my aunt's cottage, and I was hungry, and I asked for something to eat. And you know those little red boxes of raisins?
Yeah.
Little like sun-kissed. I mean, not
sun-kissed.
Sun something.
Sun-kissed.
Isn't that oranges? Anyway.
I think it's a brand, isn't it?
Could be. Yeah, I think so. Little red box of oranges that when we were a kid were fucking rampant.
I'm Googling it.
I'm gonna Google it. So then I grab my little box of raisins and I'm pounding them away, just eating them out of the box. And I don't know why I thought to look in the box or just like think. You got it?
Sun-made.
Sun-made. Because they're raisins. So I'm eating my little box of sun-made raisins and I look inside. I've probably eaten half the box at this point. I look in. It's pretty much just maggots. Just all of them. Just a gross living box of raisins.
It sucks because what I recognize here is you don't like maggots, but it's ruined your raisin experience.
Maggots have ruined raisins for me.
Yeah, it's not that you don't like raisins. You just don't like maggots. I had maggots in my green bin yesterday.
Yeah, that happens.
I hate when that happens.
That happens.
I should have kept some. The birds probably eat them.
Oh, that's true. Maybe you
should
can
have put them in the feeder.
I was thinking, I've thought this before, and I'm sure people do this, but I'm wondering if you get like a tube or like any type of bird feeder and put like dried mealworms in it that you can get from like for like lizards and things. I wonder if you could get warblers to a feeder. If you
had the right habitat around it, like, because they'll just skip me because there's not really like anything to stop at. But if you did have like a mature forest or edge or something, because they'll even stop for water sometimes. Like if you have a little pond, people will get them if they're near woods. So I think so. I was thinking more like if an eastern bluebird or something too would be cool.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen people have bloobs.
And I've seen people like there's a guy, he's in the States somewhere. He's an old guy. Don't even know if he does anymore, but he had a backyard photography setup with he had all these feeders and then all these perches, and his whole backyard was like it. And he had mealworm feeders, and he got so many birds, and he didn't have to leave his house. And I always thought that would be the coolest thing, but I don't back onto a forest, unfortunately. Would it be amazing just to have just feeders and perches, and you could just go out there in any light and any weather in your own backyard and just take photos? It's bird on a stick photography. It's eBird photography, but still, like, I appreciate that stuff.
Yeah, that would be pretty rad. I would.
But I live in a town, and I have like house bokeh and car bokeh and fence bokeh. And
that's focus.
Like, yeah, I don't like it. And then like I have like 7 bird species. So
the same 7. I get house finches. I get goldfinches.
Yep.
I get downy woodpeckers. I get nuthatches. Yep. I get chickadees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Occasionally chipping sparrow.
Mm-hmm. I had a downy today out there.
Yeah. I got a hairy once, but she couldn't fit in the hole, so she left.
Oh, sorry, downy. You said downy. I meant hairy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had that suet feeder with the tail press.
Oh, yeah. Get that up.
Yeah, they found it. Yeah.
They find those so fast. You put a suet out there, and you'll get a downy in like a week. Easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this was under a week, and they found it.
Yeah.
So they're kicking around.
Chickadees are first to bird feeders, and downies are first to suets. Like,
yeah, I think it was the grackles and the starlings that found mine first.
I did have a starling in my bird feeder, so a starling can fit in it.
Okay.
Grackles cannot.
All right. Grackles are definitely bigger.
They are.
Bodied.
They are. But the starling was kind of like poking his head in, and then like poke, and then
so that means
hop in.
that does mean you could get a cedar waxwing.
I don't know if
they're
they
about the same size.
Seed, like I haven't seen.
Throw some freeze dried berries in there for them.
It's not a bad idea. Well, actually, what we getting back going full circle, that tree that's surviving is going to make berries that birds like, and we just planted a couple other bushes that have berries that birds like. So that's a lot of the stuff that we are planting in the gardens is stuff that was supposed to attract things, like birds and things. So. We have a lot of this one plant called bee balm, and hummingbirds like that. So we have a few patches of that. So I'm hoping that I think personally I would rather do that than have a hummingbird feeder. Just have a bunch of stuff that they like.
I like both. I like having those wildflower. Yeah, I like having the wildflower because there's a certain point in the year where hummingbirds stop using the feeder completely and they go like ham on wildflowers, and it's when they're bulking up like crazy. Yes, they'll use feeders still, but like they'll go crazy. I was talking to Teddy about this, and he said he has a spot, and I can't remember. It wasn't bleeding hearts. It wasn't like foxglove. It was a certain plant that he has. He lives in Muskoka, and he says the fields are just full of these hummingbirds because they're just filling up like crazy on the nectar and stuff of the plants. So there's a certain point where they do stop with the feeders or prefer something else. So I do kind of like having the wildflowers too.
Yeah,
as an option.
As a concept, I don't like the hummingbirds starting to rely on on the feeders that people have. Because if you skip a week or go on vacation or something, it could fuck up.
Or you don't.
Bird's day.
Or honestly, you don't clean it every week, or you don't change it frequent enough. Like there's that aspect of it too, where you're they're reliant on you to keep it
tip top.
You know, yeah.
So
I think they can get some issues when it's.
Yeah, I think they get like there's mold and stuff that can grow in there, and just bacteria as they slurp it up, and then, or they just.
I said I don't care about conservation. So.
That's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
Screw the hummingbirds. I don't have anything else to talk about. I think we've talked about way more than enough.
Yeah, you're the.
I'm the closer.
You're the closer. You're the main host. You're the starter.
I don't think
I'm just the guy that's here with you.
I wanted to be the guy. How did I end up being the guy and I wanted to be the other guy?
Because we took a vote, and you have a better podcast voice and a better you have a better radio face. You have
excellent radio face.
You have a face for radio.
Thanks, man.
No,
Appreciate
it's very natural and you do a great job. And I'm going to speak for all 9 listeners that we appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
I love doing it with you, buddy.
I love doing it with you too. And that's how we're going to end this by. I love doing it with you.
Doing what?
You, me, and the pigeon.
Only one of us is making it there.
We're only. It's like Highlander. Only one. There only be one. All right. Well, this has been an podcast. It's been a great time. Thank you for listening. Mm-hmm. If you weren't offended, or if you were even, subscribe to get offended later. Send it to someone else who you think might get offended.
Or might like it.
Like,
hey, check this out. I didn't like it, but you're an asshole. And then just you might like this.
Hey, you might like these 2 fucks. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to every other Thursday.
Yeah. Because I have Friday off.
I do too. That's another reason I look forward to every other Thursday. But
that is why we record the times we do. We'll let you in a little secret. We're both off the Friday of the Thursday we podcast.
It's true.
Whoop whoop. Going
Except
mooning in the morning.
I'm going greebing in 2 mornings, hopefully. So
nice. I'm going camping.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain like cats and dogs, I think, Saturday night. But
that sounds less exciting. You have a trailer though, so that should be.
We're not taking the trailer.
You going
we sold the truck. We sold the truck, so we have the SUV right now, and the trailer's a little too big. So do we keep the trailer for a couple years until we get another truck when my car's paid off? Well, my car's paid off actually in November, but do we get another truck and keep that one, or we downsize a little bit and get something that the trailer can tow? So that's for future episodes, but we do have the trailer, but we bought like a 10-man tent, and we bought a big queen-size blow-up mattress with a pillow top. So we're trying out the tenting stuff and skipping the trailer this year. And we're going up to like Grundy and places up there and, enjoying ourselves. And yeah, so trailer is still there.
Maybe the trailer can be the new podcast studio.
Oh, mobile.
Yeah. On location.
We're going to have to get sponsored by a Ford or Dodge, or because I need something to trailer it.
We should meet Ray somewhere with the trailer and then do a podcast with him there.
That would be funny to pull up.
Like, hey, buddy.
So we doing the podcast in July? Like, yeah. We just pull up. Like, hey, what's up?
Didn't we
just
talk
do
about
it
this?
on site?
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I've already done the outro bit, so let's start the music now. I think it's going. Cool. Love you, buddy.
Maiden voyage in the morning. Hopefully I don't sink. Hopefully there's no holes. Hopefully
Smash that twisted tea on there. We'll be all right.
Thanks for listening.
Love you.
Like,
comment, share, all that nonsense.
Dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week. This one never in the past. Eagles, hawks, and kestrels flying so divine. Peep the live broadcast, podcast goldmine, twisting in the air. Birds of every kind. Critics gonna chirp, but they ain't ever died. Zooming in on sparrows, robins in the mist. Matt's got the shutter, Kyle's got the twist. Feathered friends in flight, equipped with the strut. Angry Bird Pod Show, capturing the cut. Oh, they click in the snap, see the birds on the map. Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week, this one never in the past. On the twilight, watch the colors flash. Birds of every shade in a photogenic dash. No need for fame, just the birds flying free. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. And they snap, see the birds on the map. Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week, this but never in the past. Eagles, hawks, and kestrels flying so divine. Keep the live broadcast, podcast goldmine. Twisting in the air, birds of black, so fine. Bernie and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tuning in next week, this but never in the past. In the past. Tuning in next week, this but never in the past. In the past. Zooming in on sparrows, robins in the mist. Matt's got the shutter, Kyle's got the twist. Feathered friends in flight, equipped with the strut. Angry Bird Pod Show, capturing the cut. From dawn to twilight, watch the colors flash. Birds of every shade in a photogenic dash. No need for fame, just the birds flying free. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. Oh, they click and they snap, see the birds on the map. Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week, this one never in the past. From the past. Not shortcut. Not shortcut. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. Bringing all the glee.